Well, hello and welcome round of the IndyCar World Series Championship at Nazareth, of course, where we won the championship last year in 1993. Very fun memories indeed. But alas, the 94 championship was won last week at Elkhart Lake by little Al Unser Jr. What a fabulous year he's had with the Penske team. But stay with us because we're going to have an exciting race here.
So the challenging track of Nazareth, Pennsylvania is where Nigel Mansell will bid a final farewell to oval racing in an IndyCar. This time last year at this very circuit, he clinched the championship with his final victory of 1993, but it was also his last to date. And it's farewell too for his teammate Mario Andretti, who will race an IndyCar on an oval for the final time in his illustrious career. But the weekend, like the season, belongs to the Penske cars.
Well, Al Unser Jr. may have won the 1994 IndyCar title, but it certainly hasn't taken the edge out of the competition. The lap record here at Nazareth took a serious pounding in qualifying, and any one of 10 drivers could easily win today's race. Emerson Fittipaldi, runner-up in points for the second year running, stunned the opposition by going out last in the single-car qualifying format and snatching the pole away from Paul Tracy and Nigel Mansell. A reminder perhaps to Roger Penske that at 47 he's still as quick as ever. Penske looks set to drop Paul Tracy for the 1995 season, and the informed gossip in the paddock is that the young Canadian has done a deal to join Newman Haas, possibly alongside Michael Andretti. Anyway, whatever happens, he starts today's race from second on the grid. Well, Nigel Mansell had a historic weekend here at Nazareth last year. It started out looking bad for him this year. On Friday, his car was all over the place, but he pulled it together on Saturday and looked set for pole position until Paul Tracy and Emerson Fittipaldi snatched it away. Nigel, of course, still looking for his first win in 1994.
So we're ready to go racing. Let's join Derek Daly, Gary Gerald, Jan Beekes and Paul Page.
So they come into alignment. Jim Swintal, the IndyCar starter with the green flag, watches for them to come down. There's the green. Here we go. Fittipaldi pulls quickly into the lead. The rest of the field comes through. Safely through one. Tracy up the challenge, moves to the outside. Long sweep, and Paul Tracy moves to the lead. Nigel Mansell into third. Gordon is fourth, but challenging Mansell on the outside. Gordon comes into third place.
And was that the bravery of youth that we saw displayed by Tracy round the outside? A daring move on full tires at the early stages, but Tracy, look at the command he has.
And Robbie Gordon saw that it worked, so he came around Nigel Mansell, picked up third place. Mansell back to fourth.
Gordon loves that outside move during practice and qualifying. He was the highest line driver on a regular basis because he said, that's where I like to race. That gives me the opportunity. And we saw that on his move on Mansell.
Raul closing up on Mario Andretti. A battle for fourth place. Mario's teammate, Nigel Mansell. You have an update, Gary?
Indeed, the defending champion, Paul, experiencing some handling difficulties. Massive oversteer, they're saying. The car very loose. Also, Scott Goodyear reporting his car is loose. So already in the opening handful of laps, loose conditions under this bright sun for a couple of drivers.
Leaders back in traffic now as they encounter the back of the field for the first time today. Tracy, then Fittipaldi, but Fittipaldi staying very tight on Tracy and keeping a close eye.
Tracy's so good, so brave, has made mistakes in the past, but he is a man that's hard to catch when he is on form. But he knows he can't make many mistakes here. Will he stay with Penske? Will he move on? We do not know that yet.
So at the front of the field, Paul Tracy, Emerson Fittipaldi, then Jacques Villeneuve, and look at there.
He's in trouble.
Oh, Boycell as he comes flying around Gordon. Now, what do we have? We have a problem with Gordon.
He is clearly in trouble. If he moves high and cars pass him that easily, he is in trouble. Jan Beekes has more.
Yes, we found out a few laps ago that he radioed in and said the car was starting to become loose. Just like you said, Derek, obviously things have gotten much worse. We're standing by in case he ducks into the pits.
Back now, focusing on Jacques Villeneuve as Al Unser Jr. continues to charge on him. Little Al, boy, look at this run, comes up through the field. Now Little Al in third place. Penske cars run 1, 2, 3.
Al Jr., as you know, spends more time working on his race setup. Practice and qualifying doesn't interest him that much. Only when you put 40 gallons of fuel in, that's what he likes to work on. Here's the benefit right here. He seems to be able to have the consistency of handling, not just to be fast in one lap, But Al Jr. seems to be able to protect those tires, and we've seen it earlier in oval tracks this year. And now we see it here again from our champion.
Ari Lyondike just pulled behind the wall. Problems with his gearbox. He is out of the race. Paul Tracy is still the leader, as there you see the rundown at the conclusion of 42 laps. But they run so fast, the leader is already on lap 44. And Paul Tracy and Emerson Fittipaldi are running a race all by themselves, but still moving into that race about 12 seconds behind the leaders is Al Unser Jr., doing everything he can to close in.
That's Johansson that's just about to get passed by Emerson. Gets a good look at the car that he will drive next year, because Tony Bettenhausen will buy 2 of those Penske's for Johansson for next season. What a car he'll be in.
Johansson always seems to do a super... Oh, one car into the wall very quickly, and it's Mario.
Things happen so fast here. He clips Cheever coming out of turn 2. And his last oval track race ends with the car destroyed.
Mario appears to be okay already. The kart safety team is there.
An unfortunate end for Mario's IndyCar oval racing career. After 11 laps of yellow, we prepare to go green on lap 55.
Boy, look at Villeneuve as he drops to the inside alongside Mark Smith.
Oh, let's see what he did. Brakes to the inside, and look how high and wide he washed all the way up to the outside of the groove. You can do that when you're brave, but it's always better when you warm those tires up first.
Back at the front of the field, the battle now heating up for third place. Al Unser Jr. and his teammate Emerson Fittipaldi. Now separated by only one car, that of Scott Sharp.
Al Jr. so disappointed in that qualifying run, but you had to be here to see what Emerson did yesterday when everybody had already conceded the pole after Tracy's superb run. Then Emerson went out and blitzed everybody. At 47 years of age, he absolutely jumped out of the cockpit with delight and celebrated with his crew. Great to see it yesterday.
Robbie Gordon in the pits, also Nigel Mansell. Gordon obviously done for the day. It's too bad. He's had a season of great consistency, but now a series of failures. Last week at Elkhart, this week here. You can see that Al Unser Jr. is continuing to try and battle with Emerson Fittipaldi. Look at this just a lap ago.
And this is too brave for comfort. Down, wheels on the grass, trying to pass Villeneuve. Half the car gets on the grass, and Al Jr. takes the opportunity to go around the outside. Emerson, at 47 years of age, what do you ask?
So Emerson Fittipaldi slides back into third place. Al Unser Jr. is into second now, and starting an attack on the leader of the race, his teammate Paul Tracy. We introduced him a while ago. I hate to go through such a grand introduction once again, but you truly have been an inspiration to so many of us who do this. Murray Walker, welcome. What do you think of all of this?
Paul, this is an absolutely incredible experience for me. I sit at home at weekends normally, listening to Derek and yourself talking about the Indy races. I'm used to lap times of about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Here they are going round in 20 seconds. This is tremendous for me because I'm here as a guest of Roger Penske. His cars are first, second and third, and they are made only 15 miles away from where I live. So I feel it's almost like a bit of home. I'm a bit disappointed to see that my hero Nigel Mansell, who did so well last year here, is not doing so well here because he's right down in the field. But this is absolutely sensational racing. Sadly, Formula One these days tends to be a bit processional, but to see that passing move that Derek Daly just described now was quite unbelievable. What are they doing? 185 miles an hour down the straightaway, such as it is.
All of that. Nigel Mansell back in 17th place, and we give him back to you next year.
Yeah, I know. We're looking forward to him coming back to Formula One for 3 races at the end of this year. I've been talking to him a lot while he's here. He's all fired up. I know he's very sorry to be leaving Indy racing, but we're going to be very pleased to have him back because Formula One needs a bit of drama and excitement, and wherever Nigel is, something is happening.
You know, when you talk about the changing, Nigel Mansell has reported to his crew that he's going to come in and come out of the race, and that looks like exactly what he's doing, Jan Vikas.
Paul, they suspect that possibly something has broken on this car because they have made some major adjustments, and Nigel Mansell still has massive oversteer. So with a track like this, you cannot run at these kind of speeds with a car that loose. He's decided to park it.
So Nigel Mansell with just one more IndyCar race to go now before he heads back to Formula One. At the front of the field, it's still Paul Tracy being chased by Al Unser Jr. Laps now complete. You ride on board Bobby Rahal, who just made a quick dart into the pits and out. The leader of the race is Paul Tracy, followed by his teammate Al Unser Jr., who carved his way up from 18th position to get into this challenging position behind the leader. Third place right now is Emerson Fittipaldi, who's still trying to stay in contact. Raoul Boisel, Villeneuve, and Johansson have been running together. Just a few laps ago, Johansson was able to move up on Villeneuve, and then finally Fernandez was able to get in just behind and continue in a fight with Villeneuve. So this is actually just a lap or two old. They run so fast here at this track.
Just look at these traffic jams. That's what happens here. The slower car has nowhere to go and run and hide, and the drivers at the drivers' meetings will tell you, do not change your line. Put the onus on the faster car to make the move all the time as Tracy comes in.
So Paul Tracy, he last pitted 76 laps ago. He's there. Here's Jan Vikas.
Here comes Paul Tracy. He does the first part of the job, and that is getting it stopped on the marks. We're going to watch very carefully to see what kind of changes the Penske team makes. We can see behind us that Al Unser Jr. is also set out, and there was no changes that we could see visibly made on Paul Tracy. Just over 14 seconds. Gary, here comes Al.
Well, we wait for him, Jan. They laid out for Al Unser Jr., expecting him first. At the very last second, Roger Penske said, no, stay out. Tracy came in. He's completed his stop. The crew is ready for Unser, but he is still on the racetrack, Paul.
Well, he's back on the warm-up lane now as he heads into the pits. Al Unser Jr. picked up the lead for a lap. But now he is on the pit road, Gary Gerald.
And I'm curious, Paul, can you tell us how many laps are completed? Because it may be very close on this load of fuel. They've got to go 73 laps. They would love some yellow, but 73 would be very, very close.
121 laps complete for the leader.
Waiting, cars off the jack, clutches engaged.
127.
There we go, 13.6 seconds. Good stop, Al Unser Jr.
Fernandez, 82 laps since his last stop, so he'll definitely be stopping well within his fuel window.
And he won't take too many chances. Remember, he led in Vancouver, ran this car out of fuel, but he's safely in now. Fernandez having a tremendous run, currently 5th.
Well, still Rick Gallis and the team are willing to gamble a bit by carrying him that far. Some adjustment to the front wing as Fernandez is ready to go back in the fight. Remember, the flow of the fuel actually controls the time of these spots, and Villeneuve almost gets into the side of Fernandez as he comes out, Gary.
That was pretty close, Paul. There wasn't a lot of room between the two, but young Jacques Villeneuve hit the spot perfectly, and Fernandez had no difficulty as he got through and goes back on course. Tire change already complete. Boy, that was fast. Waiting for that fuel, and as you mentioned, gravity flow tough late in the 14.9 seconds. Villeneuve back onto the warm-up lane.
We're back at the Boss Park Plug Grand Prix, and as you can see, we are under yellow. The reason for this incident was contact between Jacques Villeneuve and Adrian Fernandez. It sent